Warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, the honorable, the adjudicator, the honorable, the affirmative team, the honorable, the audience. Firstly, let's thank Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala for the blessing. Let me introduce myself. My name is Putri Nur Halizadam. I am as the first speaker of the opposition side the House. First, before we jump to my argument, I will rebut the opinion of the government side of the House. Government says the best way to solve all these problems about policy is to change the system from within. But whether the government team can assure us that with the system change, all problems will be resolved. And also the government team did not provide further explanation about this change. The second government team said it was better to reduce the number of police officers. But without us knowing it, the crime starts from poverty. Crimes such as snitching, pickpocketing, rape, and others. It all comes from poverty. Why is there poverty? It could be because of the government injustice in improving the economic, so that it's even better reducing the police budget and then providing in it to those it need to reduce poverty. Jump to the argument. What does defund the police mean? Defund the police is the dictionary means that decision of control over the police. It's an organization of a civil society organization in the United States. In essence, they want the public budget to be allocated to the police and correctional institution. Better, the budget is deferred to other public service. For them, the state budget for public security is better spent on housing, public health, education, job creation, and other vital programs management for the police and law enforcement budgets. On the one hand, the barriers of this note, if public service can be used so that all citizens can access necessities, then crime will also be reduced. They believe that a large social budget for improving citizens will reduce conditions that support crime, such as poverty, unemployment, mental illness, and homelessness. On the other hand, in this case, can also put pressure on the police to reform themselves so that they thoroughly become public servants, no longer acting arbitrarily on behalf of law enforcement as in the George Floyd murder case. However, the substance or target of this message varies. Some are just calculating or pruning, while others want a complete halt. My first argument is there are still many primary aspects that must be considered. Before that, we have to know the police budget to this day. In the past 4 decades, the United States police budget has tripled. Now it has reached 150 billion. The problem is the figures of the FBI data are that the crime rate has dropped dramatically since the 1990. The decline was 54% from 1996 to 2018. Supposedly, if crime had decreased, the police research to land could be reduced. The problem is again, this fantastic budget is not comparable to spending for other sectors. In Atlanta, for example, 13% of the operating budget goes to the police, while only 3% goes to community development and park maintenance. Based on data, instead of all the budgets being given to the police, but crime has not decreased. We better give into community institutions such as hospitals, schools, orphanages, and all that stuff for the welfare of society. Returning to the rebuttal, the crime most societal it is origin, so that poverty can be resolved. The government does not give all the budget to those who are more in need. Second argument, policing doesn't keep us safe. Despite the billions of dollars spent every year on policing, more than 100 people were killed by gun violence in 2019 alone, disproportionately young people of color. If policing and imprisonment stop violence, the United States will be the most peaceful country in the world. But decades of evidence show us this is not the case. If we believe everyone's right to live in safety, peace, and we need to dismantle institutions that were never intended to get us there, and free up research for solutions that are actually designed to create healthy, safe, sustainable, and communities. Third argument, Our tax should be invested in more human and just alternative to policing. That includes funding healthcare workers to respond to mental health emergency instead of the police. It also means shifting our research to transformative justice approaches that support survivors and work directly with the person who has caused harm through community-based system of accountability. Under these models, community members work together to keep each other safe. The human cost of investing in policing instead of our communities have been social as well as financial. We have created a society that looks to policing as the answer to our problems, both real and imagined, calling the police not only in emergencies, but also in response to white people's fear or annoyance in many situations where people of color are simply trying to live their lives. Defunding police is one step we can take to free up research and public imagination for more and human approach to community safety and shared well-being. It's time to defund the police. In here my argument, I proud to stand in this motion of this House prefers the strategy of pushing for institutional reform to address police abuse and misconduct rather than defunding the police. Thank you very much for your attention.